We're just going to do some talking and hosting and getting back into the form of things on a Saturday. The sun is getting to be a big, beautiful day in the city. And I want to bring on my co-host. You already know she's from WODU Studios in the Simply C podcast. I'm talking about the one and only Sierra's in the building today. What's going on, C?
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Actually, while we were talking before, I set up a fan that my sister
Oh,
gave me, and I just have to show you guys because it's too cool.
uh,
It's a
a
little
fan?
personal fan. So this
Oh,
is the base, and then
uh,
this is the top, and it
oh,
closes in on itself. So you store it like a disc, kind of like this.
okay.
Too cool.
Does it keep you cool though?
Absolutely. That's why I
Uh,
had to turn it on because it's hot in here.
it's getting hot in here. Yeah. But briefly before we get started, I want to mention about the concert. I got you. The mixtape I'm working on is fired. Would you shut up? Did you hear me say anything about this? Is what I'm
Look,
talking about. These things be listening in, and they just stop talking when they want to.
you should have heard my professor. His watch kept doing it to him during lecture during the semester.
Or did
It was funny. Great
crazy.
content breaks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, people don't even know they're being monitored all the time with these, and then they want to take down TikTok, right?
Mhm.
Why they keep buying, why are they letting a lot of the stuff you buying on the internet now
It's coming
is
from over
coming
there.
from China.
Mhm.
Technology.
Mhm.
So when you buy a doorbell, you got to download that software to make it work.
Yep, and the software that they programmed.
Right. Now, normally when I cut on my computer, cut it off, everything is off.
Mhm.
But in order for that the doorbell to work,
Mhm.
your computer is still on.
Mhm. It's still online.
Right. So how are they operating without knowing what's going on in your house and
Yeah.
and what's on your computer? They don't have to hack because their information is already there.
Yep.
So we're being hacked and sacked. I better stop because they might cut me off.
Nah, I just do like my granddad does. My mom used to be really into that, and then my granddad
Uh,
started talking about that a lot more lately.
uh-huh.
What I do now is I just take the power from it. Like you just unplug it and leave it. It's fine. Doorbells are kind of hard because they're wired in, but like stuff like your computer, your phones, I let my phone die all the time, as long
Mhm.
as it's like somewhere I know where it's at and I can't just lose it. But yeah,
It's
once the
crazy.
battery runs out, they don't have control.
Right. That's what I'm saying is I know the batteries run out on the thing, but it didn't supposed to run out.
Yeah,
But I got, for my doorbell. So when people come to the door, drop something off,
you can see it
see
without
it on the
going
phone.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I want to go out there and get it. But nevertheless, let me get this promotion thing started just before we get into knowing your great adventure this weekend. Want to let know people that we got the concert coming up on June the 25th. And this is a whole thing. I always got to find information that I got on my phone. This summer, super award-winning Vicky Winings is going to be performing on June the 25th in Norfolk. And let me get to it because everything is on my phone, and then I got to stop to find it.
I was gonna say, do you have the time?
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm getting to that screen now. I forgot to get to it. I'm up here doing everything else, but get into that screen before I started the show. But I just want to put Vicky Wine in, and I'll get that information later. Plus, this is for those that don't know Vicky Winans. This is This is what Vicky Winans sound like, so that people don't know her music. She's very talented, and I love this song right here. You know,
back in the day when we used to have testimony service, my mama would stand up on her feet and she'd throw her head back and sing songs like this. She said, "How I got over, how I got over my soul. Yes, I can. I made it over my soul. Yes,
That's Vicky Winans, and she will be here June the 25th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church in Norfolk. And the number you can call to get those tickets in advance. I don't know why it does that. It blocks me from seeing the telephone number. The number to call is 757 626 9547. That's the Vicky Winans concert that's coming to the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Call that number, and advance tickets are only $35 in advance and $40 the day of the concert. So you want to get those tickets in advance. And if the age, if you want to bring the kids from 13 or teens, 13 to 19 is $20, and 12 and under, get this now, for 12 and under, they get in absolutely free. And you can't beat that with a licking stick, as they say. You can't beat that with a licking stick. So I hope that people will get those tickets. And you want to be able to have a great time in the spirit. It's going to be a couple of more artists I will mention, and to play their music as well later on as we continue. And if you want to be a sponsorship, you also advance tickets providers opportunity. You can call 757-626-9547 or hashtag MacArthur Films at 1752 for the Vicky Winans concert that's coming June the 25th. What a great time it's going to be, and we'll give you more details on other things that's going on and all the lovely people that's going to be performing, So let's talk to Simply C now about your fantastic weekend. Which, well, are you going to make a movie from that?
So,
because they made the girls out, the girls' night out.
I had some ideas. I've been
sister weekend,
sister week.
Yes,
I'm finding I like to spend time with my people in pockets. So I have, since they all are into each different thing. For my birthday, I've been wanting to just spend time with everybody, so that since we all work so much, it's summertime now. We can take our downtime. My sister and I, we've saved up some, and we just have extra funding to just do some things that we've been wanting to do for a while. So that's a good concept for a movie, because I'll just make a note of everything that we did. But it didn't even start out that way. It started out where Chick-fil-A was giving away tickets to their backstage tour. Yeah. And they were like, just email us 30 days from when you want to do it. And it was going for the whole month. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead and book them for May. And this was back in March or the beginning of April, when they told us on the Chick-fil-A app. And I got the email back like the same day, if not next day, where they were like, absolutely, how many people you want for your party? So I was trying to set it up so maybe all of my family could go. So I was like, just give me the max, 6 tickets. And then when time came, it didn't look like it was going to be easy to accommodate everybody. So I was like, hey, I know I told you about it. And I also know I said I booked for 6 tickets. Do you just want to go with me and we make it a sister thing? And my sister was like, yeah, sure. Let's do that. Let's just sit down and plot it out a little bit and make it a thing. So that's what we did. It's pretty cool.
So you did send me a few photos, to share with the people,
Yeah.
I don't know which one's going to come up first.
Dwarf House.
So, what is that? I mean, what place was that?
So Dwarf House is the original Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Yeah, it started out in like a little coffee shop. And during the tour, they kind of tell you about like his background. He started out just flipping burgers, serving coffee. At one time, he had cigarettes in the store, which went against his thing. So he kind of took it out. But the concept of the restaurant is to kind of give you the feel that you had when he went into the original, since it is 3 generations later, but with like a modern touch to it. So that door is a functional door. We sat and took pictures with, what's his first name? Mr. Truitt. His last name was
Oh,
Truitt.
okay.
So they have like a bronze statue there. You go through the door and there's like a little menu, old school menu in there. Um, and then you kind of just get to read little artifacts and things. It was actually a pretty big restaurant. So there was a full restaurant on one left side and a full service restaurant on the right side. The right side was the modern type style of Chick-fil-A, and the left side was kind of like walking into. Did you ever read the Archie comics?
I never went.
Well,
I do comic books, but I never, when I was growing up, I never
well,
read them. So,
they had the bar stools and everything. So there's like a one long bar. You can sit there, you can order food and eat like you're at an old fashioned like ice cream shop or something.
um,
And then you had booths on the wall, and there was another functional door in there with a little gnome on the inside. Easter eggs, that's the word I was looking for. Cute little Easter eggs were sprinkled around it. So it was fun. And the food, that's what I was going to bring up was the menu at the Dwarf House is not like the traditional Chick-fil-A's.
is
So
this at the Dwarf House or?
that's at the Dwarf House, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
my sister, she had been shopping for cameras, and I suggested she get the one that I have because it's so
Mm-hmm.
functional. So she did. She just got it in a different color.
Mm-hmm.
So for her, for this trip, it was experimenting with the camera and the settings and taking more photos, um, being a full tourist experience. And so at this Chick-fil-A, they had pies. They had fried pies and they had regular pies.
Oh,
And the only
okay.
fried pie they had was apple pie. And she was like, I don't really like apple pie. But they had what was the other one? It was like a lemon meringue pie,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had coconut cream. I didn't like the lemon meringue because it's like they use the yolk for the bottom part and the whites for the fluff, like you make meringues.
Uh-huh.
And once I got to the yolk, it kind of tasted weird, but the coconut cream pie was top favorite, top tier.
Oh, okay. Because I used to work with a guy when I was working at Tidewater Produce Company in Portsmouth. His name was Potts. I can't remember his first name now. That was when I was about 17. I mean, 18. 18 or 19. And he could fry, get this, he could fry ice cream.
Yeah, I never learned how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't tell nobody the recipe, but he brought something to work. He said, "This is fried ice cream. I fried it on the top of the stove." But
Yeah.
he wouldn't say how he did it.
No,
Yeah.
hadn't heard that in a long time.
Oh, okay. I thought I was sharing some hidden messages or something, but I guess not.
Nobody really knows about it because they don't make it. Like, we had it in Hawaii, like, one time.
Oh, okay.
One time, and it was at some restaurant, I can't even remember the name. It's good stuff because
Oh
you get the
man.
crispiness of that breading, and then you get that cold ice cream. I don't know how they
Mm,
keep it cold while you're frying it either.
okay. That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't say. He said, "I'm not telling. I'm not giving that information out."
Yeah.
He wouldn't give it out. Do you did y'all ever when you was kids, do it ever snow in Hawaii?
Not where we were. It would snow on the
Oh,
Big Island, but
did
it
you?
didn't even
Because
really.
the reason why I'm asking, because did you ever have uh, what they call it,
Snow cream?
snow cream? Yeah,
Mhm. We
when
had
it
that
snow,
here.
huh?
We had
Oh,
that
you had it here?
here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When it snow, you don't do the first snow.
It's got all the pollutants and stuff in it.
Yeah, you got to do the second or the third snow. When it
Yeah.
snows, you just go out there and get that, and you put cream in it,
Mhm.
heavy cream,
Sweet
evaporate
and
cream,
condensed milk. Ugh.
yeah, and you put coconut, cinnamon, sugar, a little sugar, and vanilla ice, or lemon, flavor,
Mhm.
uh, and that's some good stuff. You want to eat, you don't ever want to stop eating it. You know, did y'all ever make ice cream at home?
Yeah, my sister's big into that, so,
Uh,
when we were in elementary school, they did bag ice cream, and
uh,
Raquel would, like, perfect her recipe, but then my mom, she got tired of buying ice cream, so she got the machine that you put the rock salt in,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you have the canister, and it's just mixing it all day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's you know, even though we might have been poor, every now and then we couldn't wait for the snow to
Mhm.
come because you always
It's a
didn't get the ice
treat.
cream from the store.
Yeah.
So so I like it's good that you and your sister was able to get to Atlanta, right?
Yeah, so we were actually not far. We're probably like 15 minutes from Atlanta
Uh-huh.
off the highway. We were closer. I think we were in what was called Hapsville. So the airport was like 5 to 10 minutes from the hotel, and then we were right off
Mhm.
the highway from anything else. So that was actually on the way to, I think it's called Lenox, that big mall everybody talks about, which
Oh,
I thought was
okay.
pretty cool.
Mhm.
It definitely had options that you don't get here, but it felt like a better mall. Like it didn't feel any different than going to a mall here. So
Yeah, it's always fun and exciting to go take a trip, you know. I never
yeah.
been keen on going to trips. As I was growing up, I would go to New York,
Mhm.
different years, and stay with my brother during the summer and help with the kids. While him and his wife work, and it was always fun, to do that.
Yeah.
And and I got to get a summer job when I was about 12 or 13. You know,
Yeah.
So, but trips, I take a trip every now and then, but, I just don't, I like to drive, when I want to listen to music,
Mhm.
that's when I want to take a trip. If
Because
I'm
then you can kinda
driving
just zone
2 or
into
3
it.
hours and I'm just listening to what I want to listen to,
Yeah.
I got my radio station. I, you know, I plug it in, coming through the sound system, and,
Mhm.
it sounds good. I'm off to the tracks.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well,
that's
that was the fun part about that.
um,
They hooked us up with a car that ended up costing about the same as the, generic one I was gonna get off of Turo,
was this the
and
car?
oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's a 2023 Mercedes C300, and it's
oh,
a living computer. The sound system was so nice.
okay.
We got on 85, and I asked my sister to pick a playlist because she's really good at picking a vibe, and she was like, "Well, what's the vibe you're looking for?" And I was like, "I don't know, how about, like, highway rolling? Like, I wanna test this car out, it's nice." The acceleration was so sensitive, but also so stiff, so you couldn't just put your foot to the ground, but, like, as soon as you hit the gas, it went. So, we spent a lot of time just driving up and down the interstate, even in the traffic, so we could listen to the music and enjoy the experience of
Mhm.
being at one.
Yeah. So when it's good. I don't because this the first time you and your sister just took a trip
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Mm.
And
So
it's the
that's
first time we did the rental car, it's the first time we booked the flights the way we
mm.
did. Um, it's the first time we booked the hotel the way we did. I was really pleased with the hotel. It was exactly like the pictures, and the customer service
Oh,
was top
okay,
tier.
okay. That's what counts. I mean, because with everything going on today, it's important to be able to spend time with your siblings. I mean, people that you're growing up with, and as we get older in life, we eventually go our different ways because we get
Yeah.
married, raise a family, and But the experience is that experience more so like when you was as you was growing up being home with her, or was it? How did you feel, experiencing being time with just you and your sister on your own?
Well, this one felt really good because a lot of the responsibilities we balanced between each other. It wasn't so heavy on me trying to figure it out. And she took more initiative this trip to kind of say, "Hey, well, this is what I prefer," or "Hey, can we try this?" Or she kind of included herself more, which I really appreciated because it's kind of hard to know because she doesn't really talk. She doesn't really like she
Mm.
talks a lot, but when it comes to other things, she's kind of just like, I don't know, I don't care,
Yeah,
I don't know, I don't care. And I'm like, I want you to like, I want to do something you're into so I can understand you better.
right,
Um, and this was one of those trips that I feel like we were able to do that. And if we had kinks, for the most part, we were able to just say like, okay, well, this is why we have friction. I think this and you think this, and it's
right,
okay that we think differently. What can we do about that? And then we figured something out and we kept going. So,
right.
yeah.
So like I said, is when that means that y'all are close. You care about one another, and as the big sister, you cared about not just doing what you wanted to do. You
I mean,
included.
most part, yeah.
Um,
Because there was some stuff that I was like, I definitely wanted to go to Lenox Mall, and she was just like, "Well, I don't care." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's fine. Once we get there, do you want to check anything out?" And I'm still very much so not self-centered, but I still focus on myself a little bit more.
Mhm.
So for her to speak up made it easier for me to remember, like, oh, let me check in with her and kind of see
Oh,
where she's at.
oh, you said you still a little bit
Yeah.
focusing on yourself more.
Yeah. Everybody has their flaws. I know that's one of mine.
Yeah. Well, ain't nothing wrong with it. I mean, I mean, that's what life is. You got to experience and learn to enjoy life, and especially, at your age, this is when it all comes in. I mean, I used to take trips when I was single, because I met a young lady during the summer. She came down here from New Jersey,
Mm,
from Newark. And I had been writing her, and I said, "I'm gonna come and visit you one day." She said, Are you really gonna do it? I like to see you."
mhm,
And I was about 22. And I'm like, okay, just gonna drive up,
mhm,
go look for her. I had the address,
mhm.
Newark.
Oh, you didn't know where she was in Newark.
I was
That's a
riding all
bigger
those
city.
places and I had the complex where she stayed at. I
Yeah.
didn't have the address. And it
You
won't
couldn't
cell
call her
phones back.
just
It
yeah, that's
wasn't
what I was
cell
gonna
phones
say.
back then. I done
Yeah,
rode 300, 400 some miles. Just had to turn around and come back home.
that sucks.
No, but I went to New York because my brother, they stayed in New York. But I'm riding around for about a couple of hours or three. Man, where did she stay at? Where did she, I don't can't
Did
even
you
remember her
ever talk to her
name.
again?
Huh?
Did you ever talk to her again?
I was young,
Yeah.
you know, and just I really didn't really, I mean, it was like an experience.
Mhm,
I'm driving, I can go wherever I want.
mhm.
So
You're not stuck.
yeah, I wasn't stuck. My mom and dad would always say, just be careful where you're going,
Mhm.
and I said, well, I'm going to go see this girl to stay in Newark. She's, then I found out it was the worst place you shouldn't have been at
Mhm.
in Newark, you
Mm.
know. Like, oh well. I mean, and like I
Okay.
said, I see where my son get that from, my youngest one, you know, just get up and go and do things
Mhm.
and what they call it, throwing conscious to the wind, or
Mhm.
you know, and I've been in places that people like, yo, dog, you lucky you got out of there.
Yeah.
If they knew you weren't from around there, you may not have made it out.
Yeah.
But like I tell people, I've been places and stuff and meet people, and people always treated me nice, and I really never had a problem with people. You know, I mean, when I was growing up, they teased me like
Mhm.
everybody. They never bullied me. I might get teased. I didn't like being teased,
Mhm.
but I don't fight them because my understanding is that's the way they communicate with people. They
See,
think
I
that.
didn't get that understanding until, like, this year, last year type time
Mhm,
frame.
yeah. So when you you get an understanding is they're the same age as me.
Mhm.
We all in the same boat.
Mhm.
Why are we against each other? We
Mhm.
can't get off this boat. This planet, this planet called Mother Earth. You
Yeah.
ain't getting off of one way.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Someday, eventually, when I get 120, then I'll be like, what's next? You know, because scripture says you make it to 70.
Mhm.
So my birthday is in a couple of months. I'll be 71.
Mhm.
If you make it to 70, that means if you live in according to what the scriptures say, you live to get 120.
Mhm.
Man is promised to live. Today, man is promised to be 120.
Mhm.
That's what a righteous man. I'm not saying I'm righteous, but you could live to get 120. Moses lived to be 120.
Mhm.
And when you do research and everything that's coming out on the internet now, and they tell you that our DNA was tampered with. you know, that shorten our life.
Oh.
It's been sealed.
Mm-hmm.
It's been sealed because the first man, first civilization, the blacks that was the first civilization on this planet could live to be 1,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But as technology went on, they said the aliens might have did it. They
The Giants could have did it too.
yeah. And people don't believe in giants, but there's pictures of giants.
Yeah.
They got skulls.
Yeah.
By that a man with a scientist was standing by the skull of a giant.
Yeah.
That's why they say how the pyramids would be built.
Yeah.
Because you go down in the pyramids today, they showed they just found they're still going into one of the pyramids. They'll be going in for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Next 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Going down there, and the pyramid looks like you're walking through the tunnel when they build them. Like the tunnels that we go from north to Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
The inside of it,
Mm-hmm.
because we see the cover of it. But the inside of the pyramid is just like the tunnel.
Yeah. And think about how many bodies it took to make that and how much time.
Thousands of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was reading something else on the internet they was talking about the pyramids like something like a balancing scale. It balanced the orbit of the planet
because of the weight. That's fascinating.
It's like a balancing. That's why they sit the way they sit. You got the big one and then the two small ones. But I also, when I was doing some research a long time ago, the tallest pyramid, they used to have a metallic ball in it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the guidance system for spaceships to come to Earth. Because that pyramid over there, the tallest one, it's a guidance system. They said it's a guidance system for people that come from other planets, because you can't see it. With outside of Earth, way out there, way out in outer space, the edge of space, the Earth is a star. You can't see it. That's why they be talking about if there were ever a nuclear war, there won't be a nuclear war, because if you do, it's going to open up portals. And that it will let them know where you are, because we sit so far out that people don't know that we're here. There's other planets with people on it. Yeah. But they just don't know where we are.
Yeah. Do we want them to know where we are?
Well, hey, look, can't get no worse. You're going to die anyway.
That's what I was thinking.
They might say,
like, while you're living, do you want to go through that?
Yeah, take me to your leader.
Here.
Even in school, I had to write a paper. I had to write a 1,200 or 16 word, essay, on if an alien came to visit the planet, and he says, take me to your spiritual leader. So, there's 7 or 12 different religions. Well, it's actually more than that. It's like the professor only gave us about 8 or 12 to write, pick 2 or 3 to write about. So whichever ones we want to write about.
You just want to see where your mind was going to go.
Yeah, see where your mind is.
Yeah.
But the question was, the essay topic is, take me to your spiritual leader.
Yeah.
So who would you take him to? You got any
physical being?
Huh?
This
is the question that your essay has to answer, and when you're writing it.
Yeah.
So at randomly, which spiritual leader would you take him to?
It's kind of hard to take him to Christianity's.
I'll give you the answer after you finish, taking a guess.
Processing it. Would it just be you? Because you're a representation of your creator?
You got enough. But let's do the question again. The alien lands and says, take me to your spiritual leader.
Like the church pastor. I'm missing something.
I'll show you. So Buddha,
Yes.
You take him to Buddha?
Buddha's not around anymore.
Okay. Would you take him to Muhammad?
Muhammad's not around anymore. It would
Would you
be
take
like
would you take him to Jesus Christ? You got three people you
Jesus.
can pick and choose from.
Are
So
you
which one
saying
would
if they were around?
take me to your spiritual leader?
I'd have to kill you.
There's only one. Out of all the religions, there's only one living God. That's Jesus Christ.
I get that, but I figured that was more figurative, saying that Jesus lives in all of us, kind of like Buddha says that God is everywhere.
Right. He'll say God is everywhere because there's only one. He didn't tell you what God.
Right. But I mean, in the sense that everything is God. So the plants are God because they carry his life in them, kind of like the breath of life concept.
No. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm
See, when
missing
you
what you're
say
saying.
that, you're talking about the creator.
Okay.
Jesus is not the creator.
I feel like that's a trick statement.
No, he's the son of man.
Okay.
He's the son of God. See, after we committed sin, that's why I tell people they got to read the Bible. The Bible says, Jesus said this himself before they crucified him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he said, when you pray this way: Our Father, which art in heaven,
Yes.
hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as
And
it
it is.
is in heaven.
Yes.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. But lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. When you pray,
Yes.
he said, you have to pray, but you pray. When you pray, you have to understand is you're praying to his Father.
Yes.
He says, no man cometh to the Father
Without me.
because I sit on the right side of the throne.
Right.
And if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you have to come through. You have to come through Jesus Christ, because God don't talk to us. That's why when preachers be like, "Well, God spoke to me," God don't speak to no man. This is in the Bible. That's what Jesus said.
God
He said,
speaks.
"No man cometh to the Father unless he cometh through me.
Yeah.
For I sit on the right side of the throne." That's why you can't go talk to the president. That's why you can't go talk to a king. You just can't walk up to a king and talk to him. Somebody sits on the side of him that has to give you permission to talk to him. And Jesus give you permission to talk to. He talks to God. Because he said, I sit on the right side of the throne. And he goes to God on your behalf and asks God to forgive you for your sins. That's how you're forgiven. He has to ask his Father. And will his Father grant him what he asks?
Yeah.
Because you are God. Jesus is a spirit now, but he's the living God. That's why we pray. You have to pray to him. There's no other way you can't talk to God. Only person that talked to God was Muhammad. Because God
What about
sent
the
the
other people
angel.
in the Bible?
Huh?
Like the guy that was taken on a fiery chariot.
I don't know about the fairy chariot. I haven't got that, I don't really read scripture. I know what my spirit tells me. And then
Yeah.
I go look it up. And when I do, Muhammad, that's why the Muslims, they walk around that canvas. It's a canvas made of cloth with gold at the top. Underneath that canvas is the rock that Muhammad was on. He sit there, and the angel came from heaven and took him to heaven
Yeah.
to talk to God. That's when you get the book of Revelations.
Mhm.
That's why most preachers don't preach from there. And he showed him things to come. He said, all these things shall come to pass.
Mhm.
And he asked God, so what do I call you? He said, no man knows my name. It's in the
Right.
scripture. If you knew my name, you would control me. Nobody knows God's name. That's why he said, I go by many names.
Mhm.
Because each religion calls him a different name.
Mhm.
So we are looking at things that has already been written thousands of years ago
Mhm.
that are unfolding today,
Mhm.
you know, and with some things that have been not put in the scriptures. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. But
Yeah.
that's when you go to school and take that course. Those are the lessons that you learn from people that have the doctorate degrees and study a little bit more intense than what we do by reading scripture. That's why
Mhm.
the Bible say, argue with no man about what's in the Bible. You're not supposed to argue,
Mhm.
you know, because the Bible says if two people are arguing in the vineyard, which one is the fool?
Fool. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the one that
I
keeps
had a
talking.
real life example of that a couple years ago. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, because you get that's the person that keeps arguing.
Spouting off at the mouth. When you
Yeah, you
stop
don't have.
talking, you show a lot of wisdom there.
Yeah. So what we do is, that's what I'm saying is with you and your sister taking this time off to, get an opportunity to, eat different foods,
Mhm.
go to different places. You're all grown up now, you know, but you're still growing.
Yeah, we
But
still have our differences, but
yeah,
it's easier a little bit now. And then if we have differences that we're not able to work through,
mm,
with what we went through last year, we've been able to find who can be a good counsel for us to kind of balance and
mm,
make sure we're both heard, and then help us kind of come back together. So
yeah.
yeah.
So all these things that young people are going through today, especially young girls and you know people with sisters or without sisters. Well, I mean, what would you tell them that you learned from this experience? With your sister.
Uh, Something my therapist has said that this kind of affirmed is I've been working on radical acceptance.
Mhm,
So it's recognizing, just recognizing that things are how they are, and it's
mhm,
okay that it's how it is.
uh-huh,
And then if it's not, then kind of you can do your own thing. But this was one of the more
mhm.
positive, like recognizing the exact differences between me and my sister. Like you see right there, I don't have
Uh-huh.
on a hoodie. She's got on a hoodie. I
Oh,
thought it was
okay.
hot. She was like, I don't care if it's hot. I want to wear a hoodie.
Right.
There was the day of the tour. I thought we were going to be fine,
Uh-huh.
because she was so tired. She spent the whole trip napping. And
Oh,
I don't nap. I pass out at midnight, wake up at 6:30 in the morning every day. So
oh,
the only extra sleep I got was like between 6 and like 8:30 or whatever, but I still didn't sleep through the day.
oh,
She would get up, sleep for like 4 hours,
oh.
be up between midnight and 5 a.m., grab some breakfast at 6, go to
Mhm,
sleep from 6 to like 11 o'clock, be up, go to sleep. And I'm like,
mhm,
that's how you stay from getting tired through the day, because you know you can balance that. I can't turn my brain off. One difference. The day of the tour, she was like, all right, well, I'm going to set an alarm to wake me up at such and such a time. And I was like, all right, but that's too early. Like, we don't have anything to do. The
mhm.
whole point is to kind of relax. So I let her sleep. Her alarm went off. She was still tired. She was dead asleep, woke up, turned the alarm off. I said, go back to sleep. She went back to sleep as soon as I said it, woke up, and it was like 11:30
Oh, okay.
and the tour was at 1. So I was like, that's fine. That gives you time to get up and do whatever. She's like, no, you should have woke me up at 10:30. I was like, why? It took her the entire 90 minutes to
Wow.
get herself together. And I was
Oh,
like, I don't understand what's happening here. Like, you had 90 minutes. What are you doing? She's like, I just need to do this. Oh no, I forgot to do this. I said, all right, well, don't freak out because the point's not to stress you. I just didn't realize you meant it when you said that you had to get up at this time so you could have time to, warm up, move slow if you need
Right.
to, take your time. And it dawned on me that all this time I had been rushing her through the years when it came time to do something when I could have just given her that grace period of an extra hour or half an hour to kind of get herself together.
Mhm.
So, that was really exciting to see. And then approaching our differences kind of like you would approach it with your friends. Um, I've been learning a lot with my friends, even when we have our conflicts. Like, we take a pause. One of my friends, she will not let conflict go past 24 hours. She'll call you. If we have something that we're having a spat and we don't want to talk to each other, she'll wait. And then the next morning, she'll be like, okay, so yesterday we did such and such and such, and I didn't like that. And I have a space to say, well, I didn't like this. She's like, okay, well, both of us are unhappy. Neither one of us likes this. What are we going to do about it? I don't know. So then we figure that out. So I kind of got the chance to do that with my sister. And that felt good because then
Mhm.
it showed me that we're both learning how to communicate.
Right.
We're both recognizing, like, I know for me, I'm recognizing the ways that I've affected her and not realized it.
Mhm.
And it's her communicating more this trip also told me, like, hey, um she felt rushed. 90
Mhm.
minutes wasn't enough time. Okay, cool. I don't mind driving, but while I'm driving, I learned I don't like it when somebody's like telling me things while I'm driving, and I know I do it, so I
Mhm.
try to not do it, or I just drive because then that way I don't have to kind of think about it. But I got to learn how to communicate that to her without snapping at her.
Right.
So stuff like that, and just being patient and recognizing um, that everybody could be like just checking in more helps, especially with siblings, because even though you're so similar, you're so different at the same time.
Mhm.
So it really helped for her to be checking in. But we had a moment. Here we go. We got back
Mhm.
to the hotel. I had all these liquids because we were not paying $4 for a soda or
Right.
some juice. So I went
Mhm.
to Publix. I bought a bunch of drinks so we could stick them in the mini fridge, and then we were both going to work out food later. So I'm
Yeah.
carrying the drinks. My sister walks in. She says, "Oh, I'm going to go straight down and go to the trash can. We can go upstairs." I said, "Okay, fine." So I stand there and I'm holding the things, just standing there waiting for her to throw the trash away. Look over and I'm like, she's not even at the trash can anymore. Like, she's at the coffee station picking some stuff up. Ooh, I
Um,
want to see what kind of teas they have. I'm like, but you didn't tell me that. Like,
right.
I'm over here expecting you're just gonna throw something away and we're gonna go to the elevator. And I'm like, why am
Mhm.
I started to feel the weight of the liquid. So like, why am I
Mhm.
starting to like cramp and lay and lean because this stuff is heavy? And I'm like, you're
Yeah.
picking out coffee creamers and asking me about coffee creamers, and we're supposed to be in the room. Well, I'm just trying to be considerate. I don't know if you want this. I don't know if you want this. I said, I didn't even know you were picking. I'm like,
Right.
don't be mad. I'm mad. You're mad. What can we do about it? And I told her, next time, if I'm carrying something heavy and you say you're going
Right.
to do something, it helps me if you just do that. If you wanted to look at coffee, all you had to do was say, hey, I'm going to stop at
Mhm.
the coffee station. It's right here. Then I can say, oh, let me put these things down. Maybe I can join you. Maybe, but I can rest myself for a moment
Mhm.
instead of anticipating the next step. That's how that helps me. And she
Right.
was like, well, okay. Well, it also helped me to ask you the different coffee creamers or whatever. And I was like, that's fine. I don't care. I don't have a preference. It's just coffee. Like, you can pick whatever you want to pick and you have a good taste. So whenever it
Mhm.
comes to that, you can make your own decisions unless it's new and it's something that you're like, oh, I don't know if she'll be interested in that. Then you can
Right.
ask me. Otherwise, I don't care. It's just coffee. Like, it's hotel coffee. You're
Oh,
not going to get much from there.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sister's trip. That's what it is. The sister's
That's
trip.
literally what it was.
Yeah, sister's
But it
trip.
was so cute. Like, we went
Yeah.
from out,
Right.
and then we went back. And it's like, that's nice. Like, being
Mhm.
able to grow from that kind of a moment instead of being stuck there and then having a mood and then your trip sucks.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Let me break this commercial because I'm doing my show a little different because of some of the sponsors that I'm getting. But
Okay.
hold that thought, sister. We'll be back with Simply C from Simply C Podcast. And just want to mention about the concert again, the Vicky Winans concert that's coming June the 25th at the Baptist Mount Lebanon Baptist Church in Norfolk. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Advance tickets are $35. At the door, it's going to be $40 for the age 13 to 19, $20 from 12 and under. It's going to be free admission. And if you'd like to be a sponsor for advanced ticket provider opportunities, you can hashtag MacArthur's Films at 1752 or dial 757-62. Let me see, 757-626-9547. That number again is 757-626-9547. This is going to be a tremendous, and who else is going to be on that show? With the one and only from the 757. He goes by the name of Stanley Ray Jr. And what Stanley Ray does, he's internationally known. He's been on a concert show with this young lady, Vicki Winans, before, way in his career, early, but now he gets to perform with her again. And like I said, he'll be performing his single. I forgot to turn the volume back up. It'll help if I can turn the volume back on.
Is he real to you? Hey, like he's real to me. How many of y'all know? Oh, how many of y'all know? How many know Jesus is real? It's been a long time coming, but you're still here, 'cause Jesus is real. Should have been dead and gone, or all alone, but the Spirit.
That's Stanley Ray Jr. He'll be performing live, like I said before, with Vicki Winans. That concert is going to be June the 25th. Tickets are on sale tomorrow at the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church, and advanced tickets are $35, and at the door the day of $40. So get your tickets. And like I said, if you got kids that's 12 and under, get in free. So, this is, one of those concerts that you can bring the whole family to. And everybody gets an opportunity to share and in an experience of a gospel event, hoping that it brings blessings and cheers, because with all the negative stuff going on today,
Oh yeah.
you need some inspiration, some joy.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to your sister's trip, this is Night Shot. Where is this?
When we were flying over Richmond, it was a pretty rocky flight, so I was wishing I took some Dramamine. But it was literally just because the weather was just it fluctuated so much. That I saw that and I was like, I gotta take that. And you can tell I took it with my phone because my camera was in the carry-on. But I still thought it was a pretty dope shot.
Yeah. You took it with with your cell phone. Yeah, because with the lights of this, of the city, they're not blurred.
No, they're not. So I'm really proud of that with the camera.
Yeah.
I feel like if with the camera on my phone, with the camera on my actual camera, I would have been able to kind of zoom in and do something a little bit. But
yeah, I think that'll be, you should take that and make a T-shirt.
This one?
Yeah, and call it Sister's Trip. Sister's Trip. Maybe put, get the designer to design, pictures of two girls. Mm-hmm. Sister's Trip, because that's coming into the airport. So it speaks for itself. You don't have to even, in small letters or something, say Sister's Trip.
Yeah. I can do that.
And it just reflects, people that do take trips with their sisters. Mm-hmm. Might be a big seller, but don't take it from me. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody.
Yeah.
That's more knowledgeable than me. But that's art. That's what art is. Mm-hmm. Because if you could you don't have to put anything on it. Just put that up there. And people like, I never seen a shirt like that before. Somebody must have took that, taking a trip.
Yeah, that's
Maybe,
not a bad idea.
yeah. And it makes it like, hey, maybe I need to take a trip.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll call my sister, because I know my wife, she and her sisters and them get together,
Mm-hmm.
take trips. And her girlfriend, go trips. I'm like, I don't want to go there. Oh, not go with us.
Yeah.
Go see your sons now. No, I'll stay home. Go see
Yeah.
your brother. I'll buy the ticket. I'll give you the money.
No.
Not going. It's not the going, it's the coming back.
Yeah.
The emotional detachment, because I don't see them all year, and I get the chance to maybe see them once.
But that's the experience you should take.
Huh?
That's a chance that you should take.
Well, I already know what it feels like. I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah.
That's how I get them. It's hard for me to get emotional, but when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to my family and my kids, especially my kids, I just, because they was with me from the time they got to be grown, or
Mm-hmm.
mostly grown, or went off to college.
Mm-hmm.
For 18 years, they was there every day.
Mm-hmm. And now they're not.
Yeah, and most of that time I was working nights.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my life I worked in the clubs.
Yeah.
Now that I'm not working in the clubs, it's the same thing with the club. That's why I don't go out a
Yeah.
lot, because the club that's my family. Those people that came in the club was family. They ain't just a customer to me. Those
Yeah.
are people that came every night, every week,
Yeah.
every month, every year for 15 years or 8 years or
Mm-hmm.
7 years. When you play in places for 7 or 8 years, those are people that they more than just, I mean, I've had people that go to prison, be in the rest of their lives. I
Yeah.
send them cars or little money, and they spent money with me. I don't know them. I
Yeah.
just know that, they came in the club. They weren't disrespectful in the club,
Yeah.
and when one of our employees died, his mom couldn't afford to bury him. We buried him.
Oof.
We paid for his funeral.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You don't, when the community came and say, hey, we radio station, we want to raise canned food. Yeah, we can do it here. We fed 300 people, 300
Mm-hmm.
families from the canned goods. Then I would go out, me and my wife, from my personal money. I go out and would buy food and take to the neighborhood, go to the neighborhood rental office and say, did anybody here need anything for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
They say, well, we haven't got a list, but I said, well, make a list. Well, how many? Up to 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
And, and I said, I'll deliver them. And I deliver it to people, and they say, thank you. And one lady, she called the police on them
Why?
because she was from New York.
Oh, she was like, ain't nobody this nice.
Right. And the
Yeah.
police called me saying, I got a call from this lady, this number that you've been calling, talking about bringing her a basket or something. And he said, what are you calling her for?
Food.
I said, well, I got a telephone number from the rental office.
Mm-hmm.
I own Club Picasso's,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, fixing baskets for people that need it for Thanksgiving. And he said, what? Let's start fixing a basket to give for Thanksgiving. And she said, you're harassing her.
She took it
Well,
the wrong way.
I said, how did I get her number? I don't know her.
Yeah.
The rental office gave it to me. So I said, she can meet me at the office and you
Yeah.
can come. I don't know if he came or not, the police. And she sent somebody to the office to get the basket, her daughter or something.
Mm-hmm.
Why
But
would
not
you say
her.
that? But not her. You
Mm-hmm.
must have been wanted for something.
Mm-hmm.
I started not to give it to her. But that'd have been mean. That's not
That's not the intention you came there with. You
right.
should.
I know that people do crazy things. I do now.
Yeah.
I mean, as the years go by, you see how crazy things people do. I never met her. Her daughter said thank you, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because I had other baskets to deliver. I'm out here delivering baskets the shopping center behind me. And
Yeah.
I went to the white guy's house. He was an elderly man. He was in his 60s or 70s. And
Mhm.
he opened the door and he said, "Yes." I said, "I'm here to. I got your name and address from the rental office. I'm here to bring you a basket for Thanksgiving." And he
Mhm.
started crying,
Yeah.
and um, and he was saying, "Thank you." He said, "God bless you." He said, "I was sitting here, and I know Thanksgiving was tomorrow. I have nothing in my refrigerator, no
Yeah.
food at all. I thought I wasn't going to have anything to eat, but you bought me enough food. I fix food not for one day.
Yeah, for like 3,
I
4
buy
days.
canned goods and stuff for 2 or 3 days because
Yeah.
you're going to have the turkey. You're not going to eat a turkey in one day.
Right.
So you got stuffing, rice, canned vegetables,
Mhm.
greens or something. So the next day, I might have a bag of potatoes,
Mhm.
uh, another vegetable, and you still got turkey,
Mhm.
because you're not gonna throw the turkey away.
No, and you can make potatoes stretch.
Right. So that's gonna, if you don't have anything, you're stretching. You got bread, you got
Mhm.
rolls, you
Mhm.
got candy yams, you
Mhm.
got cranberry sauce,
Mhm.
you got your meal for Thanksgiving. But people don't think about what about
After.
after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
you know. And even if you don't eat the turkey every day, you got enough canned goods and vegetables. You
To
might
make
have
something work.
other things in the box.
Yeah.
So when planning things, for Christmas, I went out, bought over close to $2,000 worth of Christmas one year, and gave it to the radio station. And the radio station that I gave it to said that it was a Luda Christmas.
There's a who?
That Luda, the rapper,
Oh, oh, yeah.
like he gave them the gifts to give away.
Oh.
Never mentioned
Yeah.
the
No.
club, never mentioned my name.
Yeah. Did you tell them not to?
No, I
Oh.
didn't ask them to or not to, but
They
they
just
made
did
it.
that.
They just so they're trying to
Okay.
build the,
Yeah, that's
the
what I was
brand of
thinking.
the station.
Promotions for yeah.
But the other DJ, after the program director came to the station, and the DJ called and told him how much stuff he had, he calls me and said, "Man, why didn't you tell me? You bought
That's what I was
bikes?
gonna say. They probably didn't tell
Yeah, I bought three or
whoever was
four bikes,
promoting.
girl bikes, boys bikes. I
Mhm.
bought video games, Xboxes, PlayStations. I
Mhm.
bought the video games for the PlayStations. I
Mhm.
bought boom boxes, to play CDs and stuff. I
Mhm.
mean, I bought a bunch of stuff." He said, "Man, did you have a list? Because I
No,
don't know, they didn't give me, you didn't leave a list. So I don't know if all this stuff is here. If
because
you
somebody
can't
might have
trust
took it.
you can't trust your people, then yeah,
That's
on
yeah.
me. You get to them, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he had everything that And he said, "Man, that's man, you thanks." So the DJ, they kept making drops.
Yeah.
It's a little Christmas, Luder, and blah blah blah. Put these gifts together for the community. So the guy, one of the announcers got a little tick. Called me
Mhm.
up, said, "Cat, what you doing, man?" I said, "Nothing tonight. The club ain't open." He said, Can you do me a favor?" I said, "What's that?" "I need you to come down here to the radio station." I said, "I want to put you on the air." I said, "Put me
Mhm.
on the air for what?" Can you come? I don't want to announce, if you can't come, I'll tell you when you get here. I said, "Okay, I'll be there in about 40 minutes."
Yeah.
Because the distance from my house. So I get down there. He said, "Man, I didn't really appreciate them what they did.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They kinda
They
just
didn't mention the club, but they didn't mention your name.
yeah.
And you bought all this stuff yourself. That's disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
That's totally disrespectful." But like I keep telling people, I do a lot. You just don't know it because
You're
it's
not
not
supposed to be telling people.
right. I'm not supposed to tell people, but you know, I understood what he was saying. It didn't bother
Yeah.
me. as long as the people got the gifts.
With the
I bought a $2,500 computer
yeah.
and gave it away as a gift. But this time I went with them to give it away,
Yeah.
you know. And I went to and the person that got it, you know, that won it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like I keep telling people, it's not about how much money you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you do with it when you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't take it with you. That's what our ancestors try to teach us. That's why they're still digging another 30 years in one site in the pyramid. They already been digging in for almost 50 years already, 50 or 70 years. They still digging another 30 years before they can uncover all the artifacts.
Yeah.
That's what our ancestors were teaching us. You come in this world with nothing.
Mm-hmm. You leave
And
this
you
world
take
with nothing.
right, and you leave, and in this world you take nothing out.
Mm-hmm.
But what God judges you by,
Mm-hmm.
your spirit. That's why you see the scale on the wall. Why he holding the scale?
Mm-hmm.
That scale is
I know what you're talking about now. The afterlife thing.
Afterlife.
Yeah. Okay.
The scale is what God is going to weigh
They
your
put that
deed.
feather on one side.
If it
And
goes up, you know where you're going.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
If it goes down,
You know where you're going.
in a blink of an eye, you're gonna be gone. You know, so that's what, you know, like I said, I wanted to talk about your sister's trip, and that you know, it's the bonding, it's the individual personalities,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that you get to enjoy life and have it more abundantly, and helping people, because nobody can take those memories. Nobody can steal the memories of what you have and go through.
Mm-mm.
But before I sign off, let me get this young lady up here that's going to be at that event, opening up for the one and only Vicky Winans. She's going to open up for Vicky Winans. I'm talking about Hope Share. She's going to be opening up for Vicky Winans, and she's the host of the concert. And Hope Share, she has a Dose of Hope radio show on the internet, and I got to play her song, Vicky. For Hope Share. This is her music. You know.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. I tried and I tried. I can't seem to get it right. If I keep my eyes on you, I know that you will see me through. I tried and I tried, but I got to keep up the fight. This war with my flesh ain't right. By your grace I will stand upright. It seems my life has been so very hard.
Yeah, like I said, she's the host and performing. You know, she's part of Pharrell's choir.
I didn't know. Actually,
Yeah.
I want to just say that I appreciate you playing their music, because the Stanley guy,
Mhm.
I remember at one point he was in your the chat that you have a
Uh-huh.
lot.
Yeah.
And he sent me some of his music with the same blurb, and I didn't listen to it.
Oh,
But
okay.
I didn't listen to it because people send me their music when I tell them I have a podcast, and it's hit or miss. So I
Right,
didn't
right,
want to say anything because he's from the group. And the
right.
fact that you played it today and I got to kind of hear what that sounds like, I'm
Mhm.
grateful to you for that. Because
Yeah, he's a great singer. I've been knowing.
yes, he's very
He's a
talented.
ventriloquist too.
Yeah, that's
You
cool.
know,
They're
he
all
has.
really talented.
Yeah, that's why I try so hard to keep them, people in the limelight, because the balance is what causes them to give up, because they feel like nobody's going to do anything for me. I've been knowing Stanley ever since he was about 21.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be at my talent show at the Club Royal Blue, 1872 East Little Creek Road in Norfolk. Yep. we had the largest talent show in the history
Yeah.
of this area. Other than talent show every Sunday, you couldn't get in there.
Yeah.
There was so many people in there. I ain't even gonna say because they still might come get me.
Mhm.
That's how packed it was.
Yeah.
Let's predict you go into a big club
Oh
and
yeah.
it's in a pack just on Sunday nights to see the talent show.
Yeah.
Missy Elliott,
Yeah.
the other guy, Casey the Dangerous One.
Mhm.
All these people performed on Sundays,
Mhm.
and I was giving them away cash prizes.
Mhm.
And man, it was the best. These people today that's singing, they don't even know what these cats did back then. You
Without
thought,
electronics.
without
Oh,
electronics and
yeah.
automatically packing the place. People
Yeah.
just, people get there early so they can get in.
Yeah.
And the tow truck came one Sunday and started towing trucks out of the shopping center.
Why though?
Eh,
Because they were
Because
parked
it
illegally.
was a private shopping center.
Oh.
But after that, I went on and paid for 100 parking spaces.
Mhm.
They was throwing trucks left and right. They had about 8 tow trucks up there.
They was just trying to make money.
Yeah, but that's why the signs are up.
Yeah.
For
That's
shopping
unfortunate those
centers
people went through that.
because it's private property, and the shopping center don't want you in there, so
Yeah.
they give them the permission to put tow signs up.
Yeah.
They make $75 to $100 to tow a truck, to tow a
Yeah.
car. If they
Yeah.
have to store it, you got to pay the $75
Plus a
and
daily fee.
the daily fee.
Mhm.
So well, but it's come to an end, my friend. I want to thank you so much for your sister trip and being a part of it, and sharing it with the people as we get ready to set sail, take off from the best of the 757 Community Talk Show. I want to thank you so much, and you have a nice weekend, and I'll be chatting with you real soon.
We shall. I can't wait
Oh,
for tomorrow. I go work the Janet Jackson concert.
oh, you going to the jan? Oh, you gonna be
We're
working?
working it. Yeah, so then we get to get it.
You need an extra hand. 'Cause I know everybody's asking. You don't need no extra
Everybody
hand.
working that one, and I'm like, y'all, we only got a certain amount of free
Oh, I
tickets,
know.
period. So,
I don't.
like, for something in the water, we didn't get anything but the giveaway things because it's the national Live Nation. With this one, because it's the local Live Nation, we still get to work it. So,
Yeah. So I ain't going anyway. I even when I was getting tickets, I very rarely I go. I'm taking my wife to see Smokey Robinson.
oh, what is that?
That's next month. That's
Okay, I'm gonna look
no,
for
next
those
week.
tickets. Next week.
Yeah,
I want to
at
see
the
if I
at the
can find it.
Chrysler.
Oh, okay. We usually don't have events at the Chrysler,
Um,
but I kind of want to see. That ought to be fun.
hmm Yep. So let me shut this down and chat with you off air. Bye bye. Have a great weekend, and everybody, thank you for listening and watching Sisters Trip right here on the best of the 757 Community Talk Show. Life is for the living. So let's begin to show our young people how to live life and enjoy it with each brothers and sisters. Bye-bye, y'all.